Finally, the Rep Fitness Pepin adjustable dumbbells have arrived at the No Fate channel. Here's Johnny, the No Fate channel, checking in. And after quite some time, the Rep Fitness Pepin adjustable dumbbells have been delivered. And we are gonna do a very quick unboxing, introduction, analysis. Heck, we're gonna do a review. That's right, I'm gonna put review in the title, I'm gonna put review on the thumbnail, and I will absolutely upset every garage gym community Facebook troll imaginable. But obviously the longer review is probably 4 to 8 weeks out, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell.
Oh, you with the box, what was in the box? What's in the box?
Reppin is out of the box, and of course we are going to be doing a weight test because I know so many of you are Olympic athletes, professional bodybuilders, and CrossFit champions, and if these things are 1 ounce off,
Hit the bricks, pal, and beat it.
you are sending them back. Now, of course, you know I've got my cheap Amazon scale, and we are going to weigh it 3 different times: 125, 60, and 30 pounds. Why am I doing 125? Well, because I haven't had a hernia surgery in a while. Here we go. 124 pounds, 1 ounce. 59 pounds, 7 ounces. Oh, yeah. And now it's time. It is time for my final thoughts on the Rep Fitness Pepin adjustable dumbbell review. Not a review, full review coming in 6 to 8 weeks. And I will tell you that they did a really good job with the knurling. I know a lot of you love your super aggressive barbells. These aren't ultra aggressive, but neither are they passive. It is that happy Goldilocks zone that just feels good, a nice amount of grip without tearing up your hands. Just for a side-by-side comparison, I got all of the adjustable dumbbells I had here in the garage, including a regular dumbbell to do width and length comparison. So this is 50, this is 55, this is 52, and this is 51. But as you can see, the most narrow in width is actually going to be the 55-pound Pepins. But now how do we do for length? As you can see, compared to the dumbbell, it's almost similar, probably a hair longer than the 50-pound dumbbell, but compared to the other adjustable dumbbells, it is much shorter. When using the Rep Fitness adjustable dumbbells, I will tell you that they had a really good balance. Oftentimes with some of the cheaper versions, you'll find that even though it'll say like 40 pounds, it's so bulky, it's so unwieldy that it feels like 50 or even 55 pounds. It just doesn't feel right. These felt good even at the heavier weights. Now they are going to be slightly wider on terms of the PowerBlocks, in terms of comparison, but overall I didn't feel like they were ungangly or it was an issue in terms of bench pressing or even overhead pressing when I got to those heavier weights. As far as actually adjusting the weights on these adjustable dumbbells, it's quick. Now, it's not going to be as quick as the PowerBlocks, as the Quick Draws, as the Snodes. It's going to be quicker than, say, the Iron Master ones, but overall, it's only going to take you a few seconds. I will say there is a learning curve because you do have to adjust both sides and make sure that they're aligned properly. And there were a few times where I was in such a hurry that I did it quickly and found that there was extra 10 on one side. And as soon as I picked it up, I realized that. But overall, I have gotten better with adjusting the weights and I have gotten faster. When you check out my Black Friday sales page and use my affiliate links, which are in the description of today's video, Santa Claus is coming to town because I'm gonna send you a special thank you gift. This is the budget PowerBlock stand. They have 2 options. This is the cheaper of the 2. I think it comes in at around $100 on Amazon, but this does fit the Repins. Unfortunately, the Repins do overhang. You can probably see back there. They overhang the stand itself. But they do fit and they do work. Now, the only caution I would have is that this stand on paper legally is only rated for 180 pounds, so 2 90-pound pairs. Even though the Repins fit, would I use this for my overall stand if I had the 125s? And I think the answer to that is probably not, especially if I often planned to use the 125s. For me, I may never go above 115 if we're just being honest and fair, unless it's for a specific video or a one-time thing. But if you're going to be taking these off and on continuously, you might be concerned that the actual shear force might take those bolts and just... Now, the PowerBlocks stand has held up over the past 3 days, fingers crossed. I will say it is a viable option if you already own it. I certainly wouldn't try to commandeer a different company's stand to use for these rep-ins. Reason being, it's not really that safe.
But did you die?
And Rep Fitness has already released the pre-order for their existing stand. So they've got 2 stands coming out. They've teased them already. One is super heavy duty. It comes with wheels. It's pretty big, but it also has storage underneath. That one I actually like the least. Now the second stand is the one that I like most, and they just teased it out as of today. I don't even know if it's on the website. It's more of the design of the PowerBlocks stand, where you have each dumbbell on the side. You've got a space in the middle to kind of get your body in order to get leverage to pull up those heavy dumbbells. And it is going to come with and without wheels. There will be a price difference, but it's actually going to come in cheaper than the heavier duty version that they are showing. But at the end of the day, if you buy Rep Fitness adjustable dumbbells, you probably should go with the Rep Fitness dumbbell holder, just for the sake of liability and making sure that these are gonna not fall and get destroyed because you used some Fugazi setup.
Pay that man his money.
Probably the biggest issue with regards to the rep-ins had to do with the cost, and a number of issues with the cost. Number one, they absolutely raised the prices very quickly. They had their pre-order sale, and when that pre-order went out, it seemed like they just jacked up the prices almost immediately. Now, of course, the consumer assumes that it's because Rep Fitness is going for a money grab, and I'm sure if you asked Rep Fitness, they would tell you that expenses and material, inflation and overhead, I don't know who's right, but they raised the prices. Number two has to be the pre-order. A lot of people committed a lot of money, and Rep Fitness ultimately delayed when they promised delivery. I think they had an issue with manufacturing, and they had 2 options: deliver an inferior product on time, or make sure that everything was right and deliver it late. Well, obviously the consumer wasn't happy getting the product late, but I guarantee you they're much happier that it was late versus getting it on time and then have a whole bunch of issues. And the third issue with the cost, it's the cost itself. Now, I am as frugal as they come, if not more so, and I still have to admit that these things are priced competitively. Compared to the originals out of Canada, you're saving a boatload of money because you don't have to ship it over the border. If you do pick up an 85-pound pair of rep-ins, you're gonna be spending $1,000, which is more than the Snode AD80s, which come in at $800, but they are probably gonna be considered superior to the Snode AD80s in the long run. But let's kick it up a notch. The 105-pounders come in at $1,200. But if you go get a pair of 100-pound PowerBlocks with fully knurled handles, you're already in for $1,000. So again, you still have a $200 gap, but that's getting a bit smaller percentage-wise. Let's go all the way to the top. 125-pound pair, $1,400. I probably shouldn't say that too loudly. My wife might be listening. I will tell you that most people don't need 125 pounds.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I'm not expecting to use those 125 pounders very much, probably only on one-arm rows and maybe on front squats. But for $1,400, you're getting a forever piece of equipment.
Forever.
They come with a lifetime warranty. That's right. These are lifetime warranty from Rep Fitness, the company that has probably one of, if not the best customer service in the home gym community. Has Rep Fitness fixed their shipping issues? And the answer is not quite. If you order a pair of Rep-ins today, link is in the description, hook a brother up. I will tell you that they are going to be shipping not only after Christmas, but they're going to be shipping after January 31st. Keep in mind, I have to imagine now that the initial pairs are out, Rep Fitness probably knows with better accuracy when they're going to be getting their shipments in. Eventually, I imagine that they'll have inventory built up here in their California or Pennsylvania warehouses so that when you order them, they'll be shipped. But you're probably looking at 6 months to a year before that happens, just based on the demand.
Damn!
The adder weights that Rep Fitness uses are easy to go on, easy to come off. A really nice design. In fact, they're much quicker to utilize than, say, the PowerBlock inserts. And the beauty is once they are connected, they don't actually hinder your hand or the length of the knurling that you have access to grip onto. Probably the biggest question I've seen raised is regarding the Rep Fitness Rattle. With any adjustable dumbbell, keep in mind, you are going to have some movement in order to be able to actually adjust that weight, the movement in between the weights, and that can cause a little bit of a rattle. Obviously, some adjustable dumbbells much better than others. So we're going to start off with no weight whatsoever, but I do have the adder weights in here. And here you go. You got some wiggle, you got some give. Keep in mind, that's not really an exercise you're going to be doing. And you can see that there's just a hint of noise with no weight attached to this thing when I actually do a bicep curl. So this is the handle without any adder weights, and you can already tell the most of that rattle that you were hearing was coming from the adder weights. And again, this really isn't an exercise, but if you do an actual exercise with this thing, I barely hear any rattle. Now we're at 20 pounds, and this is me trying to make it rattle. And yeah, there's a little bit of a rattle, but you can see with an overhead press, if I really jam it up there, yeah, you hear some noise. Let's see the 30s. So here's the 30. And during the exercise, there's almost no rattle, but unless I kip it up there. So you are going to have rattle between the plates, but just let's compare it to the PowerBlocks. Even with nothing in here, you can see there's no adder weights in here. There's almost no sound, but let's add some adder weights and we can see, right? As you probably just heard, it's almost the same amount of noise and volume with regards to the PowerBlocks as well as the Repins. When you have the adder weights added into either of them, it's going to create just a little bit more noise. But it's really minimal when you're actually doing the exercise at a decent regular pace and you're actually not just shaking them for the sake of shaking them. I will say if you are looking for an adjustable dumbbell that has zero rattle whatsoever, just get a urethane dumbbell because a zero rattle adjustable dumbbell doesn't exist. It's the nature of the ability to adjust them that's causing that minor space between the plates and causing them to make minor noises. Now, over the course of a couple of workouts, I did notice there is a little bit of rattle. I think the big concern in terms of amplifying that rattle is when you add the adder weights, the rattle is much more noticeable. Like any adjustable dumbbell, if you're doing super quick reps or you're just throwing the weight around, you certainly are going to hear a rattle. I found that the rattle was minimal, especially at the heavier weight. And when I removed the adder weights completely, there was very little rattle. But again, it's an adjustable dumbbell, so you should expect some rattle, some slight give when you're training. Now let's talk about durability and scratching. Number one, durability, who cares?
This is Sparta!
They've got a lifetime warranty, and there's no one better, at least in my mind, at least from personal experience, for customer service than Rep Fitness. Now, as far as scratching, anytime you've got metal and you know you're going to be rubbing it up against other metal, you might be banging it in accidentally to your power rack, it's going to get scratched. So if you expect these to look as good in 2 years as they do the day you buy them, it ain't going to happen. It's just not. As far as how these could break, I honestly don't know. They are, at least by first glance, I think almost entirely metal or almost darn near entirely metal. The only thing that I think that might go over a long period of time, especially if you're dropping these on a consistent basis, is the internal spring that's in here. But again, lifetime warranty, and I would bet dollars to donuts that Rep Fitness stress tested that spring about 20,000 times before they decided on a final version. If you were considering picking up the Rep Fitness Pepin adjustable dumbbells for your home gym, then you need to check out the underrated, underused, but never underappreciated links in the description. And another thing that's absolutely free to you is these two awesome videos that you can watch next. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.